This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Hello freaks, how's it going? You know, yesterday I was trying to do this, look to see if they do this true crime. Hold on a second. Yesterday I was trying to use Chat GPT for doing true crime trivia. And it had one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in it. What did it say? Where is that? Oh, it said, listen to this one, everybody. What was the name of the murder case that involved O.J. Simpson in 1994? What was the name of the case? Guess what the answer is, everybody? The O.J. Simpson murder case. Wow, what a great question, Chat GPT. Wow. I mean, I thought this thing was like this really smart, it does do other things pretty good, but that was the question. What was the case of the... Maybe it was supposed to say Nicole Brown Simpson or, that kind of thing. What serial killer had the nickname The Clown Killer and was known for dressing up as a clown? And everybody knows that one is John Wayne Gacy. But man, that other one, jeez, ridiculous. All right. So here we are, another night, everybody. You see the stream goal at the top of the upper left-hand corner, and then the Super Freak at the top right. And when you send in super chats, you can type in something that I'll read on the air, and also it replaces the Super Freak up there and helps the goal, which is the point, right? Why did you use Chat GPT to look up the Coast Guard? Just use Google, they're better. Thanks, Danielle and Annabelle Stealth. Oh, why is this one quiet? Okay. Huh, weird. Oh wait, maybe I don't have it open. There it is. I didn't have it up. There we go. Oh, there's a Trigger Bunny. Trigger Bunny. He ain't funny. He's money and he's a dummy. Alright. Thank you, Teresa Murray. Alright, so last night we were going over that Kohberger document, and then
let's get some taco dancing going.
Yeah, get that taco. Yeah. So after the show, Amber was saying there was something kind of interesting at the very bottom of the document here. So I'm just going to read this part. This is regarding Brian Kohberger and the response that the defense had to the, I guess, DNA and other information, the FGG. So right down here at the bottom, let's just read this last paragraph here, or a couple of paragraphs. The FRT's reliability has obvious implications for the accuracy of the identification process because an array constructed around a mistaken potential match would leave the witness with no actual perpetrator to choose. The reliability of the technology bears direct relevance. Thanks, Christy Kazi. No direct relevance to the quality and thoroughness of the broader criminal investigation and whether the potential matches the software returned yielded any other viable alternative suspects to establish third-party guilt. Defendants' request for the identity, design, specifications, and operation of the program or programs used for analysis and the database. Well, thank you. And the database used for comparison are relevant to FRT's reliability. It says, at trial, the state will likely have the investigating officer explain the police investigation, including the process of retrieving the still photo from the surveillance cameras ultimately used to generate an image of the defendant. So I think what they're talking about there is the one at Albertsons when he got out of the car. That's what I'm guessing. Or maybe even in Albertsons. And then it's a video. You pause the video and you extract the image from it. It's pretty simple. I'm not sure why that's confusing to anybody. Although we do not speculate regarding the exact nature of this testimony and whether defendant will seek to impeach it, the fact that the state does not bear the burden of adducing testimony regarding the composition of the photo array does not bar the defense access to the discovery. They think they should get to the discovery of how they got that information. And, it shouldn't be hidden from them. I mean, it's so simple that it's like, why not do that? Mr. Kohberger finds himself in a similar position as Mr. Ortega. That was the case they cited. A massive investigation came to focus on him and him alone. The state appears to be trying to hide its original domino such that it cannot discover why. Such that he cannot discover why. Mr. Kohberger has a right to discover and question the investigation that led to him. This court should find that. Yeah, well, I think that still image is probably the one from Albertsons. Right. Then we also have... Oh, there is a dog. Yeah, they actually have the framing of the bathroom done. Maybe after tomorrow I'll show it. Oh, Christy Kazi gifted a membership. Cool. Alright, so here's an article that was out today on Action 6 ABC Action News. It says the University of Idaho murder state seeks death penalty against Brian Kohberger. So they did talk to the family about it, I guess, and then maybe the family was like, oh yeah, we want the death penalty. Prosecutors will seek the death penalty against Brian Kohberger, the suspect in the gruesome University of Idaho murders, according to a new court filing. The filing said the state gives the notice based on the fact that it has not identified or been provided with any mitigating circumstances sufficient to prohibit the triers of fact from considering all penalties authorized by the Idaho legislature, including the possibility, I think Chloe sees a cat out there, the possibility of capital sentence. Consequently, considering all evidence currently known to the state is compelled to file this notice of intent to seek the death penalty. Kohberger is accused of stabbing to death 4 college students in an off-campus house on November 13, 2022. The victims were, we already know all this stuff. Kohberger chose to stand silent at his arraignment last month, but not responding, the judge entered a not guilty plea. After the May arraignment, prosecutors had 60 days to file notice if they were going to pursue the death penalty. So there you go, everybody. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. And I'm just kidding. Okay, and let's see, what do I want to do next? Okay, we'll do this one. This individual named Brett Detamore, so he went missing. Let's see, when did he go missing? We don't really know exactly. It'll probably say in this document. I just don't have it memorized. So it says, missing Brett Detamore, Harris County man, last seen on Wednesday. This is June 23rd, which probably makes that, let's see, what day is that? That is they said Thursday, so probably the 22nd, the day before this came out.
It'll probably be the best damn three.
That's not where I was reading it. Right here. Basically, all it says is missing Brett Detamore, Harris County man, last seen Wednesday, truck found torched. Brett Detamore, 38, was last seen driving near Bear Creek Park, west of Houston. So let's see. Bear Creek Park. And let's see, Texas. Wow, there's so many. Well, let me go to Houston. Okay, there was one that was right over here. So there you go. Alright, his yellow Dodge Ram truck was found torched and abandoned briefly after he went missing near Clay Road. So maybe that's where he lives, I guess. Let's see. Oh, so. Okay, so maybe they have him on camera somewhere, I guess. I'll just put a pin on Clay Road. Let's see. Thank you, Gloria Batari. Let me look this guy up really fast. Hold on. Might take a second. Probably not too many people with that name. Detamore isn't very common, I can tell you that. Yeah, I'm sure this is him right here. 38, yeah, that's how old he is. So he lives at least, as late as May of 2022. He lived right there. Little boxes. Da-da-da-da. So that's a house. I don't know if that's one he lived in right now, but it's May of 2022, so probably. Don't know though. Then on just today in the news, That first one was on the 23rd. Missing Brett Detamore. Search continues for man last seen in West University Place. Truck found burned. The search continues Monday. That's him right there, by the way. The search continues Monday for a missing Harris County man who was last seen in West University Place before his pickup truck was found burned at a park nearly 20 miles away. Brett Detamore, 38, was reported missing on Wednesday morning. Police say his truck was found burned at Bear Creek Pioneers Park. So Bear Creek Pioneers Park. Let's see. It's a war memorial. Okay, right there. Okay, that's right here. In this area. I wonder if there's street view inside the camp. Oh, there's some 360-degree cameras, so this is what it kind of looks like in there. Like this. Just sort of a wide open park with, it looks like different campgrounds or whatever, like places you can probably rent out or something. So in there. Huh? I don't know what you're talking about, Amber. So it says Brett Detamore, 38, was reported missing on Wednesday morning. Police say his truck was found burned at Bear Creek Pioneer Park in West Houston. Yeah, and then I think that's the previous story in this. According to West University Place Chief of Police Ken Walker, Brett's wife reported him missing shortly before 9 a.m. Chief Walker saying his department was later notified by the Houston Police Department that Walker's truck had been found at the park. I have his press conference here, so let's just play that. Man, this again.
About 1 o'clock that same day, last Wednesday, Brett's wife came to the police department and reported him missing. About 1 o'clock that same day, we received a call from the Houston Police Department. They had found Brett's vehicle burnt out at Bear Creek Park. The vehicle was severely burned. Most of the recognizing or identifying information had been destroyed. One of the HPD officers knew that they could find a secret VIN number. He found that number, ran it, and it came back as a missing person's vehicle. We were then notified where the vehicle was. Officers went out to Bear Creek Park and searched for evidence. And on Thursday and Friday, officers from Precinct 5, Precinct 1, Houston Police Department, Westview Police Department, and EquiSearch conducted 2 days of search in the area and failed to find anything. We did locate...
Yeah, and Texas EquiSearch is one of the ones we donate money to.
And we're interviewing again.
Which, by the way, can only happen if the freaks support the channel on a nightly basis. You're also welcome to just send in checks to the charities of your choice. But if you'd like to help support my channel, and knowing that each month I'm going to also give away quite a bit of it to various charities, that's awesome. But, obviously the best bang for your buck, if you just want to give it right to charity, is send it right to them. I've said that 1,000 times.
A witness that saw a male walking away from the burning vehicle that morning. Early morning Wednesday on the 21st, our camera system in Westview recorded Brett leave, or his vehicle leaving Westview at 4:21 a.m. He was not following anyone. and no one was following him.
Thank you, Annabelle, Stealth, and Kami.
And no one was following him. System in Westview recorded Brett leave or his fate, and we're interviewing again a witness that saw a male walking away from the burning vehicle that morning.
Why do you burn the vehicle, though? What's the
Early morning Wednesday on the 21st, our camera system in Westview recorded Brett leave or his vehicle leaving Westview at 4:21 a.m. He was not following anyone, and no one was following him. Detectives last week submitted requests for subpoenas for financial records as well as phone records, and we're awaiting the information that we've requested to be given to us. A lot of other things have gone on investigative-wise that I'm not, that we can't release at this point. Unfortunately, in high-profile cases, social media takes
Thanks,
over.
Teresa Murray, an
And
American
a lot of
lady.
misinformation is spread, as well as people that claim to have knowledge of the missing person or the investigation into the missing person. And that's why we were here today, to try to put out what we have, which isn't much at this point. When we put out information, we have to understand that any possible suspects in a crime, the person that left, or any co-conspirators involved in any part of this are watching our post also. So we have to be very careful about what we put out as far as what our investigation's concluding and what we're doing.
I like being part of a group effort for these true crime charities.
Well, thank you.
At this time, we have absolutely no information that would indicate that foul play was involved. We do have some information that indicates it may have been pre-planned with no crime involved.
It's pretty crazy.
But it's way too early to come to that conclusion now. We've developed a lot of information about his behavior, and we're looking into that as well as several other areas that he may be. It's really hard for
Thank
me
you,
to
Lillian.
understand, if there's no foul play involved, how a person could put his family through this kind of trauma. But I'm convinced that he will be found. It's only a matter of time.
Thanks,
Do you
Joanne.
have any questions?
Yeah, him leaving at 4:20 in the morning, is that out of the normal?
No, not from what we understand. He goes to work early.
And the person leaving the car, it was burning.
Thank you, Amber Maiden.
Is there anything there? What's,
The only thing we have is a person reported seeing a male walk away from the burning car. And I've told you all we have at this point. We're still investigating some other leads in that area.
You call this a high-profile cases with folks paying attention on social media and misinformation. Why would you consider this a high-profile?
It's one of our residents that disappeared.
Motion wave,
And,
motion wave.
You know, we take these things very seriously, although it hasn't been that long, but it's serious to us and the family. And with the media coverage and social media, it is high profile. Anyone else?
What are we missing?
Oh, shit.
You know, what questions should we ask regarding
You know, I don't know. We're asking, obviously, a lot of questions of a lot of people. And we're still gathering information. I actually thought that we'd have it resolved over the weekend, but it didn't happen yet. It'll happen. It may take a while. We hope not, for the family's sake.
I apologize for coming in late. Are you having teams searching the park, or?
That was already done last Thursday and
Okay,
Friday.
so there's not any continuing search or anything like that?
Not at the park.
Anywhere else?
Not for him. Searching for evidence or witnesses, yes.
Do you suspect foul play, sir?
No, I've already, there is, let me put it this way, like I just told them. At this point, we have no information that indicates foul play.
You mentioned that some indication it may have been planned.
Yes. No.
Thank you, Allie
So from the
Cake.
time he left at 4:20, he didn't call home to his wife or family, anybody, just left at 4:20 and there was no other contact from him?
Correct.
There were some rumblings into our newsroom that there may have been a suicide attempt. Is that anything you're considering?
We have not heard that, and I don't know what he was considering. And we haven't found any evidence of that.
What about his personal life? Can you go into any details as far as who he was?
No.
So what do you want the public to do? I mean, look at the area?
If they see someone that looks like him, please call us immediately. His name and descriptions on a nationwide database. If any law enforcement checks his name,
Yeah, it sounds like they're leaning towards him wanting to disappear, but you sort of wonder why he would burn his car. You know, what did he do that you would burn the car? Usually nefarious actors burn their vehicles. You know, I mean, if you're just going to wander off, why not just leave the car there? If you're going to go do something, what was the point of burning the car? Usually that's for destroying some sort of forensic evidence of some sort. So I don't know, man. I don't think it's definite that it's foul play, Esther. Yeah, I think he might have done something on his own. Maybe got the hell out of Dodge, you know. Because they said that he sounds like it was planning. You know, that doesn't mean it might be nefarious on his end, but I'm not going to. I think it's more likely that it's him and it's something nefarious with him than it is that somebody else did something to him, right?
in that database, we'll get a hit, or they'll get a hit and notify us. So word's out there.
Yeah, that's what I think, Eugenie. Exactly. Two different options there.
At some point in time, he's going to show up.
Yes. I don't know if
But he burned his car, almost like he didn't want them. I don't understand that part. I mean, that's what you do when a murder's been, something's happened in your vehicle where you're trying to destroy any forensic evidence.
he'll show up. I believe at some point in time he will be found.
One of the folks back here just had a question about the jurisdiction of the park.
Mhm.
If it's federal land and if that has any bearing on.
I don't think he had any symbolic stuff
We,
like that.
one of the neat things about this area is when any department has a major issue, officers line up to help. And we've had that assistance from Houston, Precinct 5, Precinct 1. That's the way law enforcement is in Texas.
Staging.
As far as jurisdiction, I believe it'll be Houston Police Department if it's
It's
determined
more like
that a
covering
crime
the
occurred
crime
at the
scene.
park.
Not staging is
He's
something
missing
different.
from Westview.
Yeah, I mean, burning a car is like trying to cover something up. Staging is when you're trying to make the crime scene look different and trick law enforcement. That's not the same thing.
Even though we know by cameras that he left Westview. But he's reported missing here, so we're investigating.
Thanks,
the
Cindy
missing
Lynn.
person. Should anything else develop outside of Westview, it'll be
Wednesday.
the agency who has jurisdiction there. We are, as we speak, working with deputy constables at different areas, trying to gather more evidence.
The truck, the burnt truck was in the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay, that's not correct.
If he torched his car, it is. It's arson.
I don't think so,
So there's that
Blaze.
one.
Come on, Blaze.
Yes, but we're
Brittany
concerned
Guillory,
about
come
his
on.
welfare
That's just
and
so
his
far out
person.
there, right off the bat.
When he left,
Maybe a burnt
Westview,
car,
was
fake
there
kidnap, and
any,
escape to collect insurance on the car.
Bad reason to leave, was there arguments or anything, personal, was there domestic stuff going on to make
We
him
have-
want to leave like that?
We have no information that would indicate any kind of problem like that.
Has the family put out any other pictures, perhaps one without a beard, so that people can recognize?
I think there's one on Facebook or something like that. There are some other photos out there.
And you're searching phone records and all that kind of stuff as well.
We've asked for subpoenas to be
35
issued for those
months
records.
for Cindy
And I
Leanne.
apologize because I am late, I apologize, sir, but does he have any history of mental health issues?
Not that we're aware of.
Nothing.
None at all that we're aware of.
Oh yeah, what type of work
You
do
know,
you?
last
Here, well, I'm just going to
Wednesday,
play this part again. I'm going to do something.
Brett's wife came to the police department and reported him missing. About 1 o'clock that same day, we received a call from the Houston Police Department. They had found Brett's vehicle burnt out at Bear Creek Park.
I mean, I guess the burning of the car could be staging if he was trying to make it look like something else. But if he was burning it for a purpose like to hide DNA and things like that, that's a different, it's more like a cover-up, you know. And but that's usually what you do when you burn cars. I can't really think of a good reason to burn it. Now, where was this again?
The vehicle was severely burned. Most of the
Yes.
recognizing or identifying information had been destroyed. One of the HPD officers knew that they could find a secret VIN number. He found that number, ran it, and it came back as a missing person's vehicle. We were then notified where the vehicle was. Officers went out to Bear Creek Park and searched for evidence. And on Thursday and Friday, officers from Precinct 5, Precinct 1, Houston Police Department.
Yeah, he was pretty big into construction, is what it says. Yeah. Everything he's got, tons and tons of construction stuff. Every single one. So it looks like he has his own business too. Let's see if there's any. Let's see. Anything else here? Doesn't look like he's got any criminal stuff in there that I can see. Thanks, Daphne. So I don't have any. That's all we got so far. It's kind of a new case, but pretty interesting, nevertheless, right? Like, it sounds like they don't. Let's move it back into this area here and listen again. Maybe right around in here.
Social media misinformation. Why would you consider this a high profile?
Yeah,
It's
why is
one
it
of our
high profile?
residents that disappeared.
Yeah, why is it high
And
profile?
we take these things very seriously, although it hasn't been that long, but it's serious to us.
We don't know,
and the family.
Zozo. She wasn't part of the interview here.
And with the media coverage and
Thanks,
social media,
Eugenie.
it is high profile. Anyone else?
What are we missing? What questions should we ask regarding?
I don't know. We're asking obviously a lot of questions of a lot of people, and we're still gathering information. I actually thought that we'd have it resolved over the weekend, but it didn't happen yet. It'll happen. It may take a while. We hope not, for the family's sake.
I apologize for coming in late. Are you having teams searching the park, or?
That was already done last Thursday and Friday.
Okay, so there's not any continuing search or anything like that?
Not at the park.
Anywhere else?
Not for him. Searching for evidence or witnesses, yes.
Do you suspect foul play, sir?
No, I've already, there is, let me put it this way, like I just told
He
you.
doesn't suspect foul play.
At this point, we have no information that indicates foul play.
You mentioned that some indication may have been planned.
Yes. No.
So from the time he left at 4:20, he didn't call home to his wife or family, anybody, just left at 4:20 and there was no other contact from him?
Correct.
There were some rumblings into our newsroom that there may have been a suicide attempt. Is that anything you're considering?
We have not heard that, and I don't know what he was considering. And we haven't found any evidence of that.
What about his personal life? Can you go into any details as far as who he was?
No.
So what do you want the public to do? I mean, look at the area.
If they see someone that looks like him, please call us immediately. His name and description
Oh yeah, I was
is on
gonna
a
show you guys a
nationwide
picture of,
database. If any law
There she is,
enforcement
everybody. There's-
checks his name in that database, we'll get a
Right.
hit.
There is Cindy, the bionic woman. Da 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 da. Da na 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 da na na na. I mean, hell, she's gonna come out of there running 60 miles an hour. All right. So I was gonna show you guys this after this case was over, but there she is, anyways. Looks like she's doing good, right? I mean, just chilling out, getting that hip going. She's gonna be running marathons coming up here.
Or they'll get a hit and notify us. So, word's out there.
If I'm not mistaken, if you say you believe at some point in time he's going to show up.
Yes. I
it's no
don't
big
know if
deal.
he'll show up. I believe at some point in time he will be found.
One of the folks back here just had a question about the jurisdiction of the park.
Mhm.
If it's federal land and if that has any bearing on who helps to investigate.
One of the neat things about this area is when any
So
department
it sounds
has
like
a
they
major
don't
issue,
think there's any
officer-
foul play, but they think he may have done something to himself. But it's interesting, nevertheless. Because here's the thing: if you're committing suicide, I mean, unaliving yourself for those triggered people out there, which I don't give a damn about. So I'm going to go ahead and say suicide. Let's see. Why would you burn the car? Like, it doesn't help anything. It doesn't make it like, okay, I'm gonna go kill myself, and I need to burn my car too. I mean, they're easily going to be able to tell whose car it is. It's going to have the VIN number on it, etc. So, don't know. Is that one called? What's that called? Oh, that's not a nested sequence. Do you want me to play this back through the second half again? How do you know? Sure, I see you. How do you know that? There's nothing about bankruptcies or anything in there.
There's line up to help, and we've had that assistance from Houston, Precinct 5, Precinct 1. That's the way law enforcement is in Texas. As far as jurisdiction, I believe it'll be Houston Police Department if it's determined that a crime occurred at the park. He's missing from Westview, even though we know by cameras that he left Westview. But he's reported missing here, so we're investigating the missing person report. Should anything else develop outside of Westview, it'll be the agency who has jurisdiction there. We are, as we speak, working with deputy constables at different areas, trying to gather more evidence.
The burned truck was in the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay, that's not a crime.
If he torched his car, it is. It's arson.
Yeah.
So there's that crime.
So he burned. His car's burning, and they see him walking away from his car. So where's the nefarious actor here? So I mean, that person earlier, that crazy conspiracy theory. Maybe that is true. That he was trying to get money from the burned out car. If that's true that somebody just said that there was $360,000 in debt. I mean, people just type stuff in. I mean, we don't know. Maybe he has a house and that's what the debt is.
Yes, but we're concerned about his welfare and the missing person.
When he left Westview, was there any bad reason for him to leave? Was there arguments or anything personal? Was there any domestic stuff going on to make him want to leave like that?
We have no information that would indicate any kind of problem like that.
Has the family put out any other pictures, perhaps one without a beard, so that people can recognize?
I think there's one on Facebook or something like that. There are some other photos out there.
And you're searching phone records and all that kind of stuff as well?
We've asked for subpoenas to be issued for those records.
And again, I apologize because I am late, I apologize, sir, but does he have any history of mental health issues?
Not that we're aware of. None at all that we're aware of. Last Wednesday, I don't know what he was considering.
Okay, anyways, that's it.
And we haven't found any evidence of that.
What about his personal life? Can you go into any details as far as who he was?
No. Database will get a hit, or they'll get a hit and notify us. So word's out there.
If I'm not mistaken, did you say you believe at some point in time he's going to show up?
Yes. I don't know if he'll show up. I believe at some point in time he will be found.
One of the folks back here just had a question about.
And he says he will be found. It almost sounds like like he's almost kind of implying a suicide or something.
Jurisdiction of the park,
Mhm.
if it's federal land, and if that has any bearing on who else to investigate.
One of the neat things about this area is when any department has a major issue, officers line up to help. And we've had that assistance from Houston, Precinct 5, Precinct 1. That's the way law enforcement is in Texas. As far as jurisdiction, I believe it'll be Houston Police Department if it's determined that a crime occurred at the park. He's missing from Westview, even though we know by cameras that he left Westview. But he's reported missing here, so we're investigating the missing person report. Should anything else develop outside of Westview, it'll be the agency who has jurisdiction there. We are, as we speak,
Thank you, WNC Granny.
working with deputy constables in different areas, trying to gather more evidence.
The truck, the truck was in the park?
Yes.
Okay, that's not a question.
If he torched his car, it is. It's arson.
So there's that one.
Yes, but we're concerned about his welfare and the missing person.
When he left Westview, was there any bad reason for him to leave? Was there arguments or anything personal? There was any domestic stuff going on to make
We
him
have-
want to leave like that?
We have no information that would indicate any kind of problem like that.
Has the family put out any other pictures, perhaps one without a beard, so that people can recognize?
I think there's one on Facebook or something like that. There are some other photos out there.
And you're searching phone records and all that kind of stuff as well?
We've asked for subpoenas to be issued for those records.
And again, I apologize because I am late, I apologize, sir, but does he have any history of mental health issues?
Not that we're aware of. None at all that we're aware of. Last Wednesday, Brett's wife came to
There, I'm just going to keep playing it because I got to
the
get
police
something out of
department and reported him missing.
Thanks, Eugenie.
About 1 o'clock that same day, we received a call from the Houston Police Department. They had found Brett's vehicle burnt out at Bear Creek Park. The vehicle was severely burned. Most of the recognizing or identifying information had been destroyed. One of the HPD officers knew that they could find a secret VIN number. He found that number, ran it, and it came back as a missing person's vehicle. We were then notified where the vehicle was. Officers went out to Bear Creek Park and searched for evidence. And on Thursday and Friday, officers from Precinct 5, Precinct 1.
Well, the thing is, something Zozo sent was, well, it's not a day before because he went missing on the 23rd, so a week prior to there was some kind of papers served to him, some sort of lawsuit. Don't really have any can't read anything about it or anything like that because I don't know. I mean, every time she sends me something, it's never something I can just quickly read. So we got to figure out how you can download stuff from that site. You know.
One, Houston Police Department, Westview Police Department, and EquiSearch conducted 2 days of search in the area and failed to find anything. We did locate, and we're interviewing again, a witness that saw a male walking away from the burning vehicle that morning.
I mean, I guess what I can see is, let's see, let me go down here. I guess it is kind of on the left-hand side. So this was on what's the date? Document filed on June 14th. So that's not, you know, he went missing on the 20. Now I can't remember what day it was. It was the 23rd, and then like 2 days, but 1 day before that, the 22nd. It says, you're hereby summoned to answer the complaint in the action and to serve a copy of your answer, or if the complaint is not served, you know, all kinds of legal jargon. The plaintiff is Winwood Capital Group, an entity organized under the laws of the United States of America. Upon information and belief at all relevant times, company defendant Detamore Development. I'm not sure what it comes down to, what it is. Pursuant to agreement, company defendant agreed to have a one bank account approved by the plaintiff, from which company defendant authorized plaintiff to make daily ACH withdrawals until the $149,900 was fully paid to the plaintiff. The plaintiff remitted the purchase price for the future receivables to company defendant as agreed. Initially, company defendant met its obligation under the agreement. However, on or about June 6, 2023, company defendant breached the agreement by failing to perform its obligations under the terms of the agreement by intentionally impeding and depriving the plaintiff of its daily ACH withdrawals from the specified bank account, all while still conducting regular business operations. Company defendant had paid a total of $47,468 to the plaintiff, leaving a balance due and owing the amount of $102,000. So I wonder if it's something he owed somebody from before, but then he sort of cut it off. So it's possible, I guess, that other $102,000 that was in that account, that he just took off with that, right? Maybe that's it. In addition, pursuant to Section 39 of the agreement, thanks for sending that, Zozo. I guess it's on the left-hand side, but it says you have to pay if you want to download it or something. Despite due demand, company defendant had failed to pay the amounts due and owing by company defendant. So what it could have been is that he took the money out and did something with it. Let's see, right here it says, upon information and belief, company defendant was also materially breached, and that's kind of, I mean, I'll try to break it, look at it later and figure out what exactly is going on there. Yeah, I can't really screenshot. I'm actually looking at it's on the page itself, but up above it says download document. You click on it, and then it says to you have to be a member there. So, well, cool. Looks like there's more to look into on that one. Should be interesting. Doesn't seem. No, I think he's like he took off. I'm not sure why he burned his car though. I mean, I guess in some ways maybe he's trying to make it look like maybe the plaintiff did something to him. You know what I mean? I just don't know why you need to burn the vehicle. I mean, he walked away from it. Okay. Well, I don't have any, we can sit here and keep going over it over and over and over again. I don't have any more on it. It's just, maybe I'll try to get a hold of his wife somehow, and then we'll take a look at this document further, dig into it a little bit more, see what's happening. So, anyways, let's see. We're about an hour in, you guys. We're only at 31% of the goal, so we're behind. So if you guys want to help support the channel, we got to do this on a nightly basis. That allows me to be able to do what I do by supporting the channel, and also at the end of the month we send money into various true crime related charities and our DNA fund. So this month I'm going to try to give the Texas Echo Search, NCMEC, and our DNA fund as well, because we now have 11 cases. No, it's him. Yeah, he walked away. Right, so now there's another press conference on. Remember the last night, that case with the 3 elderly people? This just happened like an hour ago. So let's see what happened.
We were able to place under arrest an individual named Christopher Ferguson, age 41,
what the hell
from
is he
Newton.
doing?
Mr. Ferguson is right now.
So this is last night. Remember, let's go back to that one. Right here. Boston, Newton area. Jesus. Just went flying through the earth. Now this house right here, there was 3 elderly people that were killed inside that house. So let's see what happens.
Charged with murder.
I've seen this lady quite a few times.
2 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon causing serious bodily injury, and burglary in connection with the incident that occurred yesterday. I'm going to talk a little bit about the charges. I'm then going to give you an overview of some of the facts, and then I'll be happy to take a few questions. We know that the individuals in that home on Broadway yesterday one was Gilda Detamore, who was 73 years old, who lived in that home.
Yeah, well, oh yeah, so I did have the right name. That's the name I was saying yesterday. Yeah, so the thing is, if what Daryl's saying is that he's trying to make the burning car look like that, then that's what Billy Giuliani, the mayor, Billy Giuliana, that's what she was saying about, then it was staged to look like a burned car. But maybe there was something, if it is related to the lawsuit, then it's probably not some weird, nefarious murder of some sort where then he had to burn the car up. So it's hard to know. Well, no, we already said that earlier, Zozo. Billy Giuliana said that. Okay? She already said that.
The autopsy has already been conducted on Mrs. Detamore. The medical examiner has ruled her death to be a homicide, and a positive identification has been made of her. That is why Mr. Ferguson is charged with just 1 count of murder so far. The autopsies on individuals that we believe to be Bruno Detamore, age 74, the husband of Gilda Detamore, and Mrs. Damore's mother, Lucia Arpino, who's age 97, we expect to be conducted tomorrow.
I have Donato
It is my
Arpino.
expectation that following those additional autopsies, Mr. Ferguson will face additional charges for the other individuals. As we discussed yesterday, what we know so far is that about 10:14 yesterday morning, Newton police received a call after a close friend and neighbor of the Detamores had entered the house on Broadway in Newton. She was concerned because yesterday morning the couple was scheduled to renew their wedding vows on the occasion of their 50th anniversary at Our Lady's Church. When they did not arrive for the service and the other family members had already gathered, the friend went back to the house to find out where they were and what was delaying them. She entered the house and found those 3 residents with obviously suffering from severe injuries. She immediately called 911, who responded, and the individuals were pronounced dead at the house at 10:20 yesterday morning. All 3 have suffered from apparent knife injuries and blunt force trauma. We know that Mrs. Detamore suffered over 30 both stab and blunt force trauma injuries, primarily to the upper part of her body and head.
30.
We'll have more information as to the injuries inflicted on the others tomorrow. There were obvious signs of struggle in one of the bedrooms of the home, including broken furniture and a crystal paperweight covered in blood. We also found in the kitchen a knife with red-brown stains. Police further discovered evidence of a forced entry in the basement. One of the windows were open, and a number of the other windows had had the screens pried off and removed from them. The door of the garage, which was in the back part of the house,
crazy.
was also open, and close to that door was one of the screens that had been torn from a basement window. Forensic specialists processed the floor outside of the bedroom where the struggle had taken place. The surface of that floor was a ceramic tile. They processed that floor with leucocrystal violet, a chemical referred to as LBC, that enhances the visibility of non-visible occult blood. They were able, having done that, to find bloody bare footprints on that tile hallway floor. Like fingerprints, the skin of people's feet is unique and leaves an impression that can be compared as well. So they were able to gather a number of those footprints yesterday. They also observed, and as part of the continuing, we do not have the results yet because of ongoing testing, blood stains, passive droplets, consistent with blood dripping from an object near those footprints. And they also were able to recover what we hope will be a number of fingerprints that can be matched from the screens and the windows that were removed. Police immediately began a canvass for video in that area. They were able to obtain a video from the area of 455 Albemarle Road, which is about 4/10 of a mile from the house on Broadway. And it's about 100 yards from what we believe to be the home of Mr. Ferguson on Washington Street. That video
Thanks, American
shows
lady.
that at about 5:20 a.m. yesterday morning, Sunday morning, the 25th, a male with no shirt and no shoes was walking with what appeared to be a staggering gait. Several officers, when shown that video, were able to make an identification of the individual depicted on the video as Mr. Ferguson, who was known to them. They continued with that investigation and ultimately were able to focus on Mr. Ferguson as we began continuing to gather that information. Late this afternoon, the lab was able to match one of those footprints taken from the tile hallway floor to an impression taken from Mr. Ferguson. That is what led to obtaining the warrant for him. What I've described to you is a short summary of what has really been tireless work by both the Newton Police Department, State Police, and our DAs who work in our homicide unit in this office. I think none of us who were here yesterday, who heard about the family gathering at the church waiting to celebrate a very joyous occasion, having beloved family members not show up, then learning about the deaths, did not have a sense of the great tragedy and loss that occurred. And this kind of work, this kind of really dogged gathering of evidence and processing in this short a period of time, in an attempt both to determine what happened to these family members and also to restore a sense of safety to the members of the community who yesterday we could not make that same assurance to, has led to the charges this afternoon. So I want to give great credit to all of the individuals who worked since yesterday, and particularly to the Massachusetts State Police Forensic Crime Lab, who did the processing of that evidence. As I indicated, it is my expectation that tomorrow we will have additional information regarding the injuries sustained by the other victims. I do anticipate additional charges. At this time, we know of no established connection between the family members and Mr. Ferguson. And I also point out that although the family is incredibly grateful for the support they have received from this community, which has been their home all of their lives, they are asking for privacy in these difficult days as they deal with the news of what has happened and prepare burial services for their family members. I want to thank the members of this community who showed great patience in the aftermath of this incident as we work to determine what had happened. We're also very thankful to the residents of both the Nonantum and Newtonville neighborhoods who spoke freely and were incredibly helpful to the investigators, both in terms of the work that was being done yesterday in a very hot and stormy day, and who also were useful in checking all of the video that they might have had and making available to us video that had been gathered. This was a careful, thoughtful, and relentless investigation, and it required the collaboration of multiple agencies. Typically, when we are in a situation where we are responding to this kind of tragedy, we are also joined by Mayor Ruth Ann Fuller. Although she cannot be here in person, she did ask that I convey, again, both her sympathy to the family as well as her gratitude to the community of Newton for once again coming together and helping us in dealing with this situation, and as well as express the great pride she has in the public safety agencies here who accomplished this work in such a short period of time. I am going to turn it over to the chief to talk a little bit about the police response. We'll then hear from President Albright, and then I'll be happy to take a few questions.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is John Carmichael. I'm the police chief of the Newton Police Department. I just want to say that on behalf of the Newton Police Department and on all of us here tonight, as well as Mayor Fuller, who, as mentioned, couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately, that we send our sincere condolences to the family. And we're very happy that tonight we're here to report that we will be able to seek justice for these victims. I believe that our neighborhoods are safer tonight here in Newton because of the hard work and dedication that has been exhibited by members of the Newton Police Department, the District Attorney's Office, as well as the Massachusetts State Police. This was an incredible show of collaboration and partnership that reached a very successful conclusion, which I think that we're all very happy about. As the DA mentioned, this was a very collaborative effort between multiple agencies as well as our community, and I think we're just very happy to report tonight that this will come to a successful conclusion. Newton is a safe city. However, this is a reminder that senseless acts of violence do take place in cities such as ours. But it is very important that we remain vigilant and we we maintain some level of awareness in the community and watch after each other, and identifying things that might appear suspicious in our neighborhoods. And
every night I just have a goal on the channel to help support my channel, and I donate over 50% of the net revenue every month to various charities. We're over, for somebody that really wants the question answered, here we go. We've got $152,600 I've given to various true crime related charities since January 2020. There's your answer. Okay. All right, let's get back to the
supporting those things and working together as a strong community to make sure that things like this don't happen.
It's hard to on nights like this.
I want to thank DA Ryan, her team, as I mentioned, the state police, and our officers from the Newton Police Department. Regardless of each role that each individual played, every single role was vital, whether it was our Community Services Bureau helping us set up tents down there so that we could stay out of the heat and the rain, to our dispatchers fielding many calls that were flooding into the police station, all of the officers that guarded the crime scene tape, Whatever their role was, it was very vital to the success and the final conclusion of this situation. So I'm very,
No, the Day Show is good.
very grateful.
I do
for
the Day
them
Show
for
to
everything that
combine
they
with
did.
tonight's show. That's what
I'm
the
very
point
happy
of the
to
Day Show
report
is.
now that we will bring a violent criminal
I'm
to
working
justice.
double time
We
to
will seek,
try to do double.
justice for the victims and hopefully provide at least a little bit of solace for this family. Following just such a senseless act of violence. As I've mentioned, I've seen some exceptional police work, some exceptional teamwork and partnerships and collaboration, and I'm very grateful as a chief to have been a part of this whole investigation and final conclusion.
Partnership.
As I also want to mention something that's very important. On Wednesday evening at the Horace Mann Elementary School, it would be in the auditorium, 225 Nevada Street, from 7 to 8:30. We're going to come together as a community.
Yeah, the day shift has only missed the goal maybe like 5 times out of, or maybe, I don't know. Lately it was a little less because we were doing the McStay trial, but,
We are going to be working with Riverside Community Services, our Health and Human Services in the city of Newton, the Newton Police Department, including our clinician, and we're going to sit down and have a community conversation and relative to our response to this, as well as
just want to move on to the next case.
how we heal as a community following such a tragic event. So I wanted to mention that on behalf of the mayor and the Newton Police Department. So thank you very much.
Okay. So I guess that's the house. Here's the guy right here. Looks like he went nuts. Right? There we go. So that was it. And yeah, I mean, he was just absolutely brutal to those people in there. Crazy. It's only this address that was associated with him is only 0.6 miles away as the crow flies. Yeah. Let's see, where are we at now? Oh yeah, now we're gonna do this crazy case that Zozo was looking at on social media, and then all of a sudden there was some documents to look at, so then it became a little bit slightly more interesting. It's just kind of this weird case, a little bit like one of those ones where you have extra gunshot wounds. 3 different. Basically, in this case, this lady was shot 3 times in the head, and 2 of them were by 2 different guns, and they ruled it as suicide. That's about the craziest thing I've ever heard. It's right up there with DJ Ficky, right in the same ballpark there. Hey, thanks, Kathy Chapin. Wow, maybe we can make a dent in the goal tonight now. Let's see. How do I even start it? I'll just look at one of these. Hold on, let me get my music playing again. Gotta have that. That's gonna not be the avocado because it's 50. It's gonna be the cat. The cat eye donation. It's kind of like that one. Yeah. That's another one I was, but I don't know if that one. I mean, I don't know. I bet you Cindy was looking at what's his name? John F. Kennedy Jr. or Robert Kennedy Jr. He was like doing push-ups and shit today. He was pretty in good shape for a guy 70-something years old. Not too bad. All right, so here's this story over. It says, family wants answers after woman shot 3 times with 2 guns. Death ruled as suicide.
Evangeline Parish, a family with ties to Lake Charles, say they still have no answers surrounding the death of their daughter. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Barry Lowen. Brittany Guillory Fontenot.
This is a story from June 14th on 7 KPLC.
Was found dead in her home by her husband with 3 gunshot wounds to the head from 2 different guns. While the death was initially ruled as a suicide, her mother Yvonne Malvo says hearing about the amount of wounds and weapons used only creates more questions.
How is this possible? It has been 2 months and I have not heard anything. I'm seeking for the truth and answers to what happened to my Brittany.
The Evangeline Parish Sheriff's Office says the investigation process has been extensive. They say they're working with the District Attorney's Office to review every piece of evidence, including the weapons from the scene.
We are waiting from the crime lab a couple of pieces of information that we need, actually DNA on the weapon, on the trigger of the weapon, which is very crucial.
No, it's not. It means he put the gun in her hand to make it look like that. Let's see. A Villa Plate family with ties to Lake Charles is searching for answers about their daughter's death this April. Brittany Guillory Fontenot was found dead in her home by her husband with 3 gunshot wounds to the head from 2 different guns. While the death was initially ruled as suicide, her mother, Yvonne Malvo, said hearing about the number of wounds and weapons used raised more questions. How is this possible? It's been 2 months and I have not heard anything, Malvo told KLFY. I'm seeking for the truth and answers as to what happened to my Brittany. The Evangeline Parish Sheriff's Office said their investigation has been extensive. They said they are working with the District Attorney's Office to review every piece of evidence, including the weapons from the scene. We are waiting from the crime lab a couple of pieces of information that we need. Actually, DNA from the weapon on the trigger. DNA from the weapon on the trigger of the weapon, which is very crucial. Yeah, unless somebody just put her hand on it, right? How about, I wouldn't test the trigger. I would swab it for DNA on all the other parts of the gun. Because for somebody to place the gun in her hand, you would be touching the rest of the gun. Anyways, I got that. And this is some sort of a letter to the editor for the Evangeline today. It says, on behalf of Brittany Guillory Fontenot, the Malvo family would like to thank KLFY TV 10 for helping us get the alleged suicide message out to the community. The family of Brittany Guillory Fontenot continues to seek answers for the alleged suicide that occurred on April 13th, 2023. So this is, two and a half months ago. During the interview, it was said that Brittany's husband, Ray Fontenot Jr., found her dead in the home. So let's just pause there for a moment. And then we go back in time to 2009 in the paper, and here's Ray Charles Fontenot Jr., 18. Charged with December 8th with indecent behavior with a juvenile. Fontenot was released on a $25,000 bond. Okay? And there's some suggestion out there that it was a boy, a relative of his. But you got that one. His father is a sort of a high figure. He's a junior, this guy, so that means his father is in the paper quite often. Then 2010, there's another Ray Charles, let's see, illegal possession of stolen things. Stolen things. Anyways, so he doesn't sound like a good person, you know what I mean? He's in the paper for a couple things that I could find. According to Sheriff Charles Gilroy, this investigation has been extensively working with the district attorney's office to review every piece of evidence, including the weapons from the scene. However, when Mrs. Malveaux called the DA's office, it was told to her that the Honorable Trent Brignac knew nothing of the case. There are still a lot of unanswered questions. Mrs. Malveaux went to the crime scene and there was no crime tape at the scene. However, there were several people at the crime scene, including his mother, Sarah Fontenot, his father, Ray Fontenot Jr., both sisters are Brashanica, so all of his family was there, the husband, the neighbor, and the co-worker. According to my records, none of the ones listed above were questioned or provided statements. What kind of investigation is this? Remember, there were 3 shots to the head and face area with 2 different guns. How is this possible? A broken-hearted mother seeking justice for her Brittany Guillory Fontenot, the Malveaux family. I totally agree with her. I think this is ludicrous. Okay. So let's see. There's some documents out there. What's this one? This is from that 2010. In regards to discovery motion file. Let's see what the next one is. It was called and asked if he wanted us to get coroner en route. Yeah, so this is regarding the incident here. I think this is a 911 call. It's kind of hard to get everything in order. Let me pull that one up first. I think that might be. What's this one? Okay, so this is the incident report here. And this is April 13th, 2023. This guy on Facebook was somehow got these. I'm not sure how he did it, but so deceased, be involved. This is the husband there. That's the coroner. Then over here, I think the 911 call is in writing, I think. Hall notes. 911 advance that they received a... I think he's... Let's see, 30... Yeah, I guess it does go down here. This direction. So this is 9:03 in the morning. On April 13th. But apparently, she died at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Had every received hang-up call from above address. So they received the hang-up call. That was at 9:03 and 24 seconds. Then 24 seconds later, that they were unable to obtain any information besides a male subject advised that his wife just shot herself. Then, let's see, 911 advised that they have... No, this is the 911 center. They have something en route. And then probably like officer, number 27 advised that they were en route. Then AASI was called and confirmed they are en route. 911 called back and advised that they got the male subject back on the phone. Wife shot herself and he was transported to AASI to start I don't know what that means. And he was to AASI to start CPR. So he was told to do CPR on her. And then 911 advised that they do not have air medics en route at this time. 911 advised that something is Ray Fontenot and his wife is Brittany Fontenot. Then EP15 is en route. Be advised that EP04 was called and advised that someone will be en route. Notification sent out. Advanced that advised that he and something is 1097. I don't know what that means. Probably en route or something. Advised that Mayor Justin called and advised that AASI is 1097 that Air Medics was canceled. Okay. He advised that 15 was called and asked if he wanted us to get to the coroner en route, and yes. I was wondering if we could find if there was any sort of police scanner audio on this thing. Is en route. Deceased Guillory Brittany. So I don't know. I guess they just sort of believed the story. Oh, so that is his address. Fontenot, Ray Charles Fontenot. So is this the location here? Just got Fontenot Ray of 6223. So I do have that address in here. At least I did have that. Let me get that again. Let me try that. 622. 6223. Anybody there? 6223 Armand Street, Villa Plate. Okay, yeah. So he lived over here too. So it must be in one of the. I don't know if these are. Yeah, is that all? Those can't be trailer houses. I mean, that's ridiculous. God, oh, that's a funeral home. Jesus, what's going on here? Advised, called and asked if he wanted to get to the corner en route, and yes, on something Fontenot Ray Charles Jr. 6223. Maybe that's where the funeral home is, at this place right there. I mean, the address they gave is right. Well, let's see if it's that thing right there. What do you mean here gray? What do you mean? What does that mean here gray? Oh, you're just here. I see. Let's see, and here's her right there. It's Brittany Guillory, or Brittany Yvonne Guillory, I guess. So this is like something, I think a family member might have wrote this, but let's see. Please share this. Brittany's death is being labeled as a suicide despite 3 gunshot wounds, 1 in the nostril of her nose, 1 under her chin with a shotgun, and 1 in her temple by 2 different weapons, 9mm pistol and a .22 caliber rifle. There are very unusual circumstances around the investigation and how it was handled by law enforcement. Per the family, Brittany G. Fontenot was killed by her husband, Ray Charles Fontenot Jr. This man killed his wife while their 3 children were at home with them. In fact, Ray Jr. called his sister, who lived in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and she drove from Lake Charles, and his mother, who lives in. I think this is just some guy that investigated this one here. This is what they believe here. I'm not saying this is true what they're saying here. This is what they believe here. And the scene before 911 even called. In fact, that's what it says. LA showed up at their trailer home and started cleaning up the crime scene before 911 call was even called. In fact, there were 2 women who were on the scene from I don't even know how to pronounce that. Some place name starting with a CH, Chategner, but I'm sure it's some French pronunciation, who had arrived to do a wellness check on Brittany because she had not shown up for work that morning, and it was 8:30. One of the women, who's in the medical field, tried to gain entrance to the residence, but was denied access by Ray's mother once her and her daughter had arrived. Ray Jr. exited the house with the youngest child, saying Brittany had shot herself 3 different times, 1 in the nostril of her nose, 1 under the chin with a shotgun, and 1 in her temple. But one of the women, who had arrived and asked why they hadn't called 911, and by this time it was after 9 a.m. Thank you, Billy Juliana, the mayor.
Justice for Brittany Wave. Ocean Wave. Ocean Wave. Ocean Wave.
The sister and mother who showed up and started cleaning up the crime scene should be charged with tampering with evidence, and because the sister is a paralegal with a license and her license should be revoked because of her participation in covering up this crime scene and destroying the evidence. The crime scene was never taped off by EPSO officers or detectives who had arrived on the crime scene, leaving it to be contaminated by different family members entering and exiting the crime scene. So that same chat. Hey, thanks, Nyleen. Brittany Guillory Fontenot was found dead in her home by her husband with 3 gunshot wounds to the head from 2 different guns. I mean, that's insane to have 3 gunshot wounds and then 2 different guns, right? Thank you, American lady. Three gunshots to the face and head with 2 guns. How is that possible? It has been 2 months and I have not heard anything. While the death was initially ruled as a suicide, Malveaux told News 10 that hearing about the amount of wounds and weapons used only created more questions. I'm pleading for help, a broken-hearted mother. I tell you what, this is one of those cases that if I had more documents and, provable stuff, I would just make one of those same videos and send it off.
Ocean Wave.
This just sounds so idiotic, it's almost amazing, really. Yeah, we already said that, Dale. Anyways, it said, we are waiting from the crime lab a couple of pieces of information that we need. What we need, Guillory said, actually DNA from the weapon on the trigger of the weapon, which is very crucial. As the investigation continues, Malveaux said her family cannot have closure as long as the case is open. Yeah. So Dale, hold on. Dale said, she was shot by 2 different guns, 3 separate shots, with 1 under the chin by a shotgun and a 9mm and .22 rifle. Rifle? A shotgun would have removed the evidence of the 3 wounds. Someone is wrong here. Yeah, the weapons they showed were a .22 and a 9mm. But here's how do you do this though? I don't know. This person probably put the shotgun in there. I hadn't heard shotgun on in the previous articles, so I don't know. I don't know. What difference does it make? How tall he is? We don't have any information on anything in terms of angles or anything like that. The thing is to shoot herself with a .22 caliber rifle would be really hard. You'd have to 2 different guns, 3 different gun wounds, apparently. 1 in the nostril, 1 in the under the chin, and then 1 I guess just in the temple. That's right. It's also a lot of shots. It's also so stupid that why would somebody do that and then claim it was a suicide? You know what I mean? Like, you know, for his defense, it's like it's so dumb that who would do that? Yeah, well, that's the one that would have done it, right? I mean, his whole family came over before they called 911, and you know, he's got a criminal history that isn't great. You know, he's not really this bastion of morality. But who knows, right? There isn't really enough information to absolutely know that he did something, but I mean, the fact, if it's true, the number of shots and all that, then wow, I mean, that's absolutely nuts. I mean, this article here is an actual news article from Channel 7. While the death was initially ruled as suicide, her mother, Yvonne Malveaux, said hearing about the number of wounds and weapons used raised more questions. How is it possible? It has been 2 months and I have not heard anything, Malveaux told KLFY. I'm seeking the truth and answers as to what happened to Brittany. The Evangeline Parish Sheriff Office said their investigation has been extensive. They said they are working with the District Attorney's Office to review every piece of evidence. We are waiting. So they're waiting from the crime lab for whose DNA was on the trigger. That's so ludicrous to me. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. It's hard. You can't shoot yourself with a rifle. I already said that. Yeah, it's almost impossible. Like, you'd have to hold it and then have your thumb on the trigger and shoot yourself. Oh wow, that didn't work. Let me grab this other gun and let me go do. Oh wow, that didn't work either. Let me shoot again. It's crazy. I think it's there. I don't even know if that's ever. I think it's incredibly rare when there's 2 shots in a suicide. I think it has happened before, but it's just almost unbelievably rare. So I think these are them right here. Now, what was the other letter? I think it was this one right here. This is from 2010. The defendant was present in court on this day for a change of plea due to the plea bargain agreement and was presented by Chuck West. Shelley DeVille was present on behalf of the state. The state moved for a leave of court to file. This is State of Louisiana versus Ray Fontenot. Doesn't say Jr. on there, but I think this matches up with the date of that article. Upon request of the court, defense advised the court that the defendant wished to waive the provision of Article 894.1. The court accepted the defendant's plea and sentenced the defendant to serve 3 years at hard labor. Wow, they did hard labor still? With the Department of Corrections deferred the sentence in accordance with Louisiana Code of Criminal Procedure Code 893 and placed the defendant on 4 years active supervised probation. Wow, got away with that one. The court advised the defendant of his general conditions of probation and ordered as special condition of probation that he deposit $1,500 into the registry with probation and parole to be used for the victim's counseling, $50 per hour probation fee. The court further ordered as special condition of probation the defendant will comply with 3 years of sex offender counseling with probation and parole and will pay for said counseling, and he will publish a one-time sex offender notification in the Villa Platte Gazette. The plea agreement sheet was made part of the record. Oh boy, that's pretty crazy. You have to pay to put your own article in there. So this is a, here's what it's right here. Indecent behavior with juveniles. That's 2010. That's when he was like 19 or 20 years old. Pretty weird, pretty weird. I think that might be all that I have here. I'm not going to bring up, there's all these posts on Facebook and stuff by random people and just people saying stuff, but definitely keep following that one. Alright? So, I gotta go use the restroom. Maybe I'll play that funky Mary Lou music again. This one right here. Is it that one?
Are you angry at me?
I don't know, it must have lost connection to it. Does this one work? It's still connected though. Yeah, it doesn't work. Alright, anyways, let me, is this one going? That one works. Yeah. How come the other ones don't work? Hold on, I'm gonna have to try something. What's going on? Oh, it might make some weird sound. Watch out. Uh-oh. There it goes. Man, I don't know what's going on with that program. It goes nuts. That's some weird stuff. How long have we been on? 1 hour and 43 minutes. Oh, and there was some kind of somebody claimed that one of the Fontenot's ex-girlfriends also died in a car accident that seemed odd to everybody. And they're looking for justice too, so who knows, right? Maybe something weird happened in that one. Yeah, cool, Renee. Awesome. Oh yeah, I got some of these shorter ones just randomly. Like here's one. I couldn't find any more, but why not just bring it up, you know? Like there's almost no information on it whatsoever. But you know, if I don't bring it up, nobody will, because it's just will never be talked about. So all I'm going to do is add it to this folder here and see what the hell happens. There's only one article, and it wasn't even an article that was around the time. So this person went missing in 1985, November 22nd, and the only mention in any newspaper that I could find was, I might be on Google though. Let me see if, let's see, what's her name? Vernette Wester. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so that's on. She is in the Charlie Project, so I guess that's pretty cool. I can read that one too. So this is her right here. That's a picture of her. And the only article that I could find was this one. A White House with floral wreath sits quietly on Parkside Drive in Tempe. So this is in Arizona. Let's see where that is. Let's see. Parkside Drive, Tempe, Arizona. Now we don't know if he did or not, Plato. That's why I said how I worded it, the way I worded it. I said there's somebody saying that, okay? And we don't even know what the girlfriend's name was to even look it up, so. So there's Parkside Drive. That doesn't look like the same, you know. Has it changed a lot? Let's see what it looked like in, now it's 97. Maybe Parkside Drive goes all the way out here. Does that count? Anyways, let's just do it. A White House with a floral wreath sits quietly on Parkside Drive in Tempe. New evidence has led police investigators to believe this was the last place a Phoenix woman was seen before she vanished 25 years ago. Those who knew Vernette Wester describe her as a devoted mother of 5. She had been running errands November 22nd, 1985, in anticipation of the Thanksgiving holiday. She was never heard from again. Police searched the house on Parkside Drive on Thursday, where her ex-husband Bruce Wester has lived for 25 years. Oh, well, there you go. I don't even need to. Let me put that in there. Hold on a second. Very uncommon name, so that should be really simple. And there it is. Wow, he's 81 now. And he died in 2016. And that's his house right there. There you go. Parkside Drive. Here we go. And this is where Bruce Wester. Bruce Wester. Yeah, let's take a look at it. There you go. Pretty sure that's the one. Yep. Police searched the house on Parkside Drive on Thursday. This is 2010. This is Friday, so it would have been August 5th, 2010, where her ex-husband, Bruce Wester, had lived for 25 years. Investigators are looking for items that could connect him to Vernette's disappearance. Phoenix Police Sergeant Trent Crump said, "Foul play is suspected." Before a new witness came forward, police believed a Tempe shoe store was the last place Vernette was seen. Tempe police were investigating the case when she disappeared, but no evidence was ever found and no one faced charges. Vernette's 1979 Chevrolet, 1979 Chevrolet was found 3 blocks away from the house 5 days after her disappearance. Because of the new information, police have obtained a search warrant for the home and court order for samples of Bruce Wester's DNA. They will compare the samples to evidence found in the car in 1985. Vernette and Wester had 5 children together, but right before her disappearance, she had filed for divorce. How classic is that? Crump said. Vernette's daughter, Wendy Rawson, 36, was 12 when her mother disappeared. She and her siblings, for years, have been trying to persuade police to investigate their father. Back then, they patted us on the head and said, "Your mom just needed a break, and she'll be back," Rawson said. That's not who she was. There's no way that she just left on her own. Wester is being detained as a person of interest, or a person of interest or investigative lead until the court order is served. Crump said he should be released soon or admitted to a hospital for medical reasons. In their search, police hope to find any trace of evidence that indicates Vernette had been in the home. Well, why wouldn't she be in the home? Didn't she live there at the time? They are comparing Wester's DNA to evidence found in her vehicle, in addition to searching the house for items they know she had with her at the time of her disappearance. Okay, that makes sense. Rawson said there was a difference between what she knows in her heart and what can be proved so far. "I can't finish grieving," she said. "I've had those feelings since I was 12. I want closure." So Vernette was last seen at her ex-husband's home in the vicinity of the 1000 block of West South Parkside Drive in Tempe, Arizona, on November 21st, 1985. She's never been heard from again. 5 days later, her white 1979 Chevrolet Chevette was found abandoned in the vicinity of the 700 block of Howe Street. So let's do that. Put that in there. Sometimes I like these little, just random, small ones, you know. But you guys, we're not quite at the goal tonight. If you have a chance and you can afford it and you want to help support the channel, that would be awesome. If not, it's cool too. All right, here we go. 700 Howe Street. All right, so is this Howe? Okay, that's Howe. Where's 800? So if it's in the 700 block, it's in between there. All right, so that means it's right in this area. Somewhere around in here was Vernette's vehicle. So that's pretty interesting, just right around the corner there. No, we already did this. We were on the Charlie project here. Her purse, keys, and identification were missing from the car, which had been parked at the location for several days. She normally used a pillow to prop herself up so she could drive, but the pillow wasn't on the driver's seat when the car was located, meaning somebody that was taller drove the vehicle, didn't need it. I mean, that would be the same as like my wife. She has this little seat that she sits on, and you know, when I get in there, I got to move it out of the way. It's pretty funny. Yeah. Let's see. Authorities did find Vernet's to-do list inside the vehicle, as well as newly purchased gifts. A photo of the car is posted with the case summary. Vernet left behind 5 children, the youngest of whom was 8 years old in 1985. Her ex-husband, Bruce Wester, is considered a person of interest in her disappearance. He's dead now, though. The couple married when they were 16 years old, and their divorce had been finalized right before Vernet's disappearance. Thank you, Jessica Schubach. She was given their house in Phoenix, Arizona, and full custody of their older children. Oh, so she was given their house in Phoenix, Arizona, and full custody of the older children, and she and Bruce shared joint custody of their youngest child. Oh, so this is kind of weird, yeah, because it's like she didn't live there. Let me see if she still exists in here. Relatives. And her name was Vernet. Is that going to be in here? Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. Bruce. Wester. Arizona. Just looking this up. Okay, relatives, there's 20 of them. I'm just wondering if she made it in here. No. Let me see if she's by herself. Vernet. Wester. Phoenix. Yeah, she's in there. Tempe actually has her at. And she's also listed at 1024 South Parkside Drive. Huh, she was given their house, but what do you mean that they hadn't even... She had filed for divorce. A couple married when they were 16 years old, and their divorce had been finalized. Oh, so it was finalized right before Vernet's disappearance. She was given their house in Phoenix, Arizona, and full custody of their older children, and she and Bruce shared joint custody of their youngest child. The marriage was described as abusive and the divorce difficult. One of the couple's children, who was 12 years old when Vernet disappeared, stated Vernet was afraid of Bruce and didn't want to be alone with him. Bruce refused to cooperate with investigation into Vernet's disappearance. This is what I'm saying. This is one of those cases where you go, Bruce absolutely killed Vernet. I don't have any, like, if you asked me, I would say yes, he did. I mean, every single element that you see is here, and he did it. They just couldn't prove it, right? So, what a joke. Bruce refused to cooperate with the investigation into Vernet's disappearance. Their children believe He harmed their mother. Even his children believe it, okay? He harmed their mother, and they are all estranged from him. In August 2010, after a new witness came forward, police executed a search warrant on Bruce's home. He moved there during the divorce proceedings, and Vernette had never lived there. Let's see. In August 2010, after a new witness came forward, police executed a search warrant on Bruce's home. He moved there during... so he moved there during the divorce. See, even that previous article said she had filed for divorce. Now, this one says that they were already divorced, so this home that we're looking at is one that he bought during their divorce. And you know, how come he wasn't a massive suspect when Vernette's car is right here, and that's where Bruce lives, in his house? And then, I mean, hell, let's see, hold on a second. So Phoenix is over here. So she just randomly left her car right here and disappeared. This guy is one of those lazy criminals too. He killed her, probably. You know, it's sort of interesting. They think maybe, I wonder if he buried her in the yard actually. I mean, I don't know if they checked that when they were there. Did they literally look around for any sort of... And he was so lazy, he just drove her car a few blocks away. That's enough. Bruce refused to cooperate with the investigation into Vernette's disappearance. In August 2010, after a new witness came forward, police executed a search warrant on Bruce's home. He moved there during the divorce proceedings, and Vernette had never lived there, but investigators looked for evidence that she was in the home and for items belonging to her. Her car had been found parked very close to the house. Phoenix police are investigating Vernette's disappearance. She was declared legally dead in 1992. Foul play is suspected in her case, which remains unsolved. Well, it is solved. You know, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Look at that, there's a Facebook page here. Let's see what this one says. Yeah, do they actually have, like, court documents here? Oh, this just got bigger all of a sudden. Let me read this one. In November of 1985, Vernette Wester, who was a mother of 5, went missing. She had just gone through a difficult divorce with her ex-husband and Air Force veteran Bruce Wester. She had been awarded by the judge their house near 48th Street in Alta Vista, which had been... Hold on. Where's this other guy? I gotta go back to Bruce again here. Because they already had a house, so we probably have that address here. Address history. There it is. So she lived in this house right over here. Thanks, Danielle. Oh, I did have that one. 1977. So I already had that listed on there. So this is where Danette got to live, in this house. Right there. And Bruce had the other one. They already had that. So that's how far away. Let's see how many miles that is. And about 3 miles driving, something like that. Thanks, Danielle. Now, let me go. Where's that Facebook again? At the time of her disappearance, Vernette was trying to move on with her life by taking classes at Lamson College in Tempe and dating a new boyfriend. Oh boy, that probably really... I mean, they got... right after they get divorced. Man, that guy's a psycho. According to interviews in the redacted case file I purchased, it was revealed that at the time of her disappearance, she had been worried that her ex-husband wanted to kill her. On November 21st, she was last seen alive running errands in preparation for Thanksgiving. A couple days later, her car was found abandoned 3 blocks from Bruce's new home in Tempe, near the intersection of Howe and Judd Streets. Well, now I gotta go update that, and there's Judd, so, you know, maybe just kind of like right there. The seat, Tempe near the intersection of Howe and Judd Streets. The seat of the car was moved back to accommodate a larger individual than Vernette, and the pillow she sat on to see over the dashboard had been moved to the passenger seat. Despite the fact her car was discovered in Tempe, and the last confirmed sighting of her was at a show store on Alma School Road in Southern in Mesa, Phoenix, PD handled the investigation because she was reported missing from the Alta Vista home. Investigators determined through many interviews that Bruce Wester was the prime suspect in the case. Bruce was described in interviews as extremely controlling of Vernette and verbally and physically abusive towards her and her children. After Vernette went missing, Bruce sold her car and all possessions from the Alta Vista home. In 1992, she was declared legally dead. Bruce was a former Boy Scout leader, and some people who were interviewed claimed he was a suspected pedophile who seemed more interested in the lives of boys than his own family. Bruce was involved with Scouts roughly from the mid-1970s. As soon as he said that, I thought, I don't know why, it kind of sucks to, you hear Boy Scouts and a killer, and then you think pedophile, you know. In one interview, a parent complained Bruce threatened to go out to his car and get a gun during a scout meeting at a local elementary school. One of Bruce's daughters claimed one of her former boyfriends claimed to have been molested by her father while in the Scouts. In 1993, Bruce married a woman from the Philippines named Divanagravia Tajom Wester. And that was 1993. One of Bruce and Vernette's daughters described the relationship as a estranged marriage. That lady from the Philippines took care of Bruce, and he aged, and the marriage would help her achieve citizenship, and she could be one to inherit Bruce's estate when he passed away. As he aged, Bruce dealt with diabetes and became morbidly obese and bedridden, refusing to leave the house. In August 2010, police conducted a search warrant on Bruce's Tempe home to see if there was any physical evidence Vernette had been inside the home. It did not lead to any arrest in the case. On January 12, 2016, Bruce Wester died at age 79 in Tempe. He was estranged from his children, who disowned him because they suspected he killed their mother. His wife at the time ended up taking ownership of the house and inherited his estate. During interviews, it was said that Bruce would talk about how he could hide bodies in mine shafts and they would never be found. He took the Scouts camping in areas such as Mogollon Rim near the Payson Gila County near Globe and the Superstition Mountains. Vernette's body could have possibly been disposed of in any of those locations. Vernette's children have all grown up, according to public records. Search her boyfriend Donald Rosh moved to Colorado and passed away in 2007. So, according to public records, her boyfriend Donald Rosh moved to Colorado and passed away in 2007. Bruce and Vernette's grandson, Willie Inman, would go on to get arrested for being responsible for 3 different murders in Apache County. Wow, that's crazy. Must have ran in his family there. Can't really even read it, it's so small. But anyways, I think that's gonna do it for me tonight, you guys. I'll do the other story with the kid that's missing tomorrow. But I appreciate everybody being here and supporting the channel. Thanks for those who were able to do so, and hit that like button. Let's see. So, thank you to Danielle, Annabelle Stealth, Teresa Murray, Christy Kazi, Gloria Batari, Annabelle Stealth, Kay Me, Teresa Murray, American Lady, Amber Maiden, Allie Cake, Cindy Lynn, Daphne, Eugenie, Cindy J, hope you're feeling better out there, WNC Granny, Eugenie, American Lady, SSP 134 Georgia, thank God for Kathy Chapin's one cat eye donation there, Billy Juliana, Cindy Leon, American Lady, Jessica Schubach, and Danielle. Alright, make sure to hit that like button out there. Hope you guys thought that was interesting. I thought there was a lot of kind of different sort of cases out there and pretty interesting stuff. Didn't translate. But let's see, we've got the Joanne on PayPal, also Lillian, then Mag, thank you so much. She said she's got relatives visiting, so she hasn't been able to be around, and Miss Angels, so thank you. I've got the other case I was going to go over is the one of Nyleen Marshall. You know, she's this little girl right here that went missing in 1983, and so gonna go over that one. Might not have, I don't know, they're pretty long articles on it, so I'll probably do that tomorrow, something like that. But anyways, thank you guys very much for being here, and you know, if we get more information on the stories that we covered, we'll definitely update that. We've got Brett Detamore, the guy that burnt his car. Looks like he just got served some papers in a suit of some sort. He was supposed to be giving a certain amount of money every month, and then one day just the money wasn't accessible by the person he owed it to, and then he just disappears. Who knows if he took that money with him? And his vehicle was found burned. And we've got the case of, just a second, Brittany Fontenot, who apparently was shot 3 times in the head with, and then there was 2 different weapons, but they say it was a suicide. Her ex-husband has a lot of issues. I mean, he's been arrested multiple times for different things. He has a sex offender registry. And, you know, that one doesn't look good either. That one seems like there's something more to it, for sure. For certain. And then the 3 elderly people that were killed, they made an arrest in that case. They're going to go for the death penalty in the Idaho 4 case against the wacko. Yeah. Brian Kohberger. Then we just went over Vernette Wester right there, where it's a very typical, classic, unsolved case. And there's no reason it should be unsolved. This one, that case is obvious and should have been solved a long time ago to give justice to the family Bruce Wester did kill Vernette Wester. Okay. There's no confusion about it. There's no sort of, ooh, wow, who knows? He did it. Okay? 100%. So thank you guys very much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Oh, look at the dancer bunny. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pecker. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
All right, everybody. See you later.
Yeah, see you later, Mary Lou. Have a good one.
You too, Ray. Thanks.
Wow, that was so pleasurable that time.